everybody. What a great crowd. Welcome to Beauty Tech at CES. My name is Jill Gilbert, and I am the producer of Beauty Tech. And I couldn't be more excited by the massive developments that are happening in this field from previous years. From a plethora of do-it-yourself beauty tech launches like home lasers, you can now buy a home laser that will remove your hair. You can also buy one that'll regrow your hair. And there's light therapy treatments, which you'll hear a little bit about, and the beauty tech market is definitely in a boom, full swing. And we have one of the pioneering companies, Johnson & Johnson Consumer, to share their latest developments. So how is 135-year-old, see, I had it wrong, 135-year-old company like J&J reinventing the beauty tech market? Well, we've invited J&J's Consumer Inc.'s Chief Technology Officer, Josh Geim, and Naomi Furjewel, their Vice President of Face and Sun R&D, to launch their newest cutting-edge innovations to date. So let's welcome him to the stage.
So I think innovation, there's absolutely no doubt, it is the lifeblood of all companies that are successful, and it's not different for J&J. For 135 years, that innovation has been the lifeline for everything that we've done. What we wanted to talk to you today is about how is that a 135-year-old company continues to innovate, and we'll give you some of the insights behind it and what are some of the technologies. But there's a couple of things worth thinking about as we talk about innovation. Most of you are probably familiar with Neil deGrasse Tyson, who's an astrophysicist who turned a TV personality. And this is actually in 2015 that he said, in most civilization, majority of innovation, the pace of innovation is so slow that it usually skips a generation. And it tends to be so slow that it doesn't impact the life of people immediately. How many of you actually feel that's the case today? There's a good chance that today alone you're going to see 3 to 4 innovations that are absolutely going to change the life of people every single day, and that's exactly what we're going to talk about today. I think the reality of it is the way innovation is moving, the pace is significantly faster than what we're used to, and technology is the biggest driver. And there's a lot of ways to use technology as a source in terms of, I think if you were here, it was the session before, one of the moderators was saying that don't do technology for the sake of technology, but what are the benefits that you're delivering from a healthcare perspective, from a consumer care perspective? And that's exactly what we focus on at Johnson & Johnson in terms of impacting health and humanity globally, regardless of where people live. What I would like to do is just show you a short video about our J&J Consumer, our history and what we've done and what we're doing moving forward. So if you look at our history, 1886 is when Johnson & Johnson was discovered in New Jersey. You can't hear? So, and throughout our, pretty much since we started, our whole approach has always been, it starts with a simple idea that creates a chain reaction, and that results in another idea. And that's exactly what innovation is about. regardless of how small the idea, it's what comes after it is how we drive most of our innovation. And if you look at our history, this thing is not going all the way to 1888. You know, it's interesting because looking at technology today, what we're going to see at CES, going back to 1888, the fact that majority of babies were born in their homes and there was no medical care. Johnson & Johnson developed the first basically maternity kit that was needed to deliver babies. Something most people don't even know, Johnson & Johnson was the first company to introduce sanitary protection products for women. And this is a big part of what's going on in terms of, we might not think about it from a technology perspective that a sanitary protection is that important, but it was life-changing at that time, and it is still life-changing because it enables women to actually do what they want every single day. The same way that Band-Aid was actually created by a J&J employee because his wife actually kept cutting herself all the time in the kitchen. And he thought that he needed to do something. But 100 years later, this is still a technology that every single home still uses. So the reason I show you this is, yes, they sound simple today as we think about them, but at that time, they were all life-changing. And that's exactly how we need to continue to look at innovation, is how does that change the life of humanity in general, about people around the world, regardless of where they live. And I think if you look at our history, this is basically creating the full album, hundreds of products. We've introduced products that are first to the market throughout our history. And this is the beginning of what we're doing in beauty technology to continue to introduce some of the first products in this industry. A starting point, I think to start with, what we're going to talk about is beauty technology and bathroom of the future. And one of the things that we wanted to highlight is a couple of technologies. For example, microbiome, if I can get this thing to click. How many of you have heard about microbiome? That's what everybody talks about. The reality of it is microbiome has been around for a very long time. Johnson & Johnson conducted the first skin microbiome clinical study 10 years ago. So it's not a new trend. The reason you don't see us jumping into introducing more probiotic products is because we don't believe they work. The reality of it is, your single microbiome is actually as unique as your fingerprints, which means that what's changing now that's allowing us to bring microbiome into the market, it's actually the technology, the ability to collect data, the ability to quantify microorganisms that exist in the skin and in the gut and every part of your body, to be able to understand how they work and what's the uniqueness of each individual that allows us to continue to build this. And this is part of the reason we recently announced an investment into a startup to develop a diagnostic for microbiome so that every individual could actually map their own microbiome and then decide what they need to do than just eating the next yogurt that has probiotic. 3D printing. When you think about it, a lot of times we look at it from a mechanical and more industrial applications. But one of the things that you continue to see is applications of 3D printing in beauty. The idea here is very simple. We can customize using devices that you use every single day to be able to see what are the different parts of your face that need different types of treatment. So you're not buying the exact same product for every single time, but you can actually customize it right in your own home. You could actually print very specific products to different parts of your body so that one single product is addressing all the needs from acne, from wrinkles, from everything that you wanted to correct in your life. And I think you see here from a demo perspective, this is your ability to print any kind of screen treatment right in your own home. And this is a technology, if you think about it, most of the 3D printing used to cost about $20,000. You could pretty much buy it now at Amazon or Home Depot or any of the facilities that your local stores, pretty much most of the places. So I think this is a good example in terms of how continuing to downstream technologies that used to be not accessible to a lot of people, the fact of making them accessible and finding the right solutions so that people can personalize and customize the products that they need. So how are we doing this? For us, the starting point is two things. One, we have built a digital innovation team, a digital beauty innovation team that exists in-house, that actually looks at everything from data science to the technology to scientific studies from biology, from physiology, every part of the skin that you can think of. But putting that together in addition to our approach to insights, to consumer behavior, everything else, because we can develop a lot of products. If consumers are not interested, it's not going to go anywhere. So it becomes very important in terms of consumer behavior, how they want to use it. We also don't want to add more steps to everybody's daily routine. So this is something that we pay a lot of attention to make sure that you can use existing tools and existing technologies that you have and then bring in the scientific data. But more importantly, one of the things that we do is actually collaborate externally across all of our company. For Johnson & Johnson, that spends about $9 billion in R&D. 50% of our research actually is a collaboration with startups, with big companies, with everybody outside. And this is at the core of almost everything we've done through our history, is that more than half of our research, more than half of our collaboration is actually done externally with startups. And just even in this CES, we're announcing a couple of technologies that are collaborations through other startups that we met at CES last year. So this is a very important part of what we do. But more importantly, we have announced something called the Digital Beauty Quickfire Challenge, if I can get this to go. And the Digital Beauty Quickfire Challenge is basically to bring more entrepreneurs to solve some of the biggest challenges in beauty, in technology and skincare, to be able to develop that. And the way it works is we're awarding $50,000 for the best idea. We're actually going to be housing them in one of our J labs so they get the facilities that they need, which means that they get access to all of our scientists and capabilities at Johnson & Johnson. But more importantly, we also have what we call consumer experience centers that are based in US, in France, in China, that you get actually to do your own research at our sites, which are in this consumer experience center. So I want to make sure people have access to this in terms of, I know we're closing it on the 19th, but we are looking for people with ideas that could actually help us solve some of these challenges that we see from a technology perspective in digital beauty, focused on those three areas that are highlighted here. So I think if you look at the history of Johnson & Johnson and what has been done, we're going to show you a few of the technologies that we're actually launching, that we launched this year and we're launching later this year. But it's going to be very important because I mentioned earlier, one of the biggest challenges that we continue to see is that as much as I talked about 100 years ago, babies were born and moms used to die during birth because there's no clear solutions in some cases, or when I talk about sanitary products 100 years ago that we introduced, today it still exists. There are girls that don't go to school for 50 days a year because they don't have access to the sanitary products, or in some cases maternity kits and other things that are very basic and we tend to take them for granted here. So one of the challenges that we're asking people to help us is how do we use technology to actually advance access and everything else? And a good example of this is Africa alone, there's 700 million smartphones today. So if you think about how technology and SMS and simple ways to reach people could actually change, and this is so one of the things that we're doing with sanitary protection in Africa is actually to give women access, especially girls that need to stay in school, using technology as an enabler. But with that, what I'm going to do is I'll invite Naomi, and she's going to show you a few of the technologies that we're launching in the beauty area this year.
Thank you, Josh. So technology is the how of change, but humanity is the why. And we engage, we relate to one another, we even buy things because of the experience that they deliver and the potential transformative power of that experience. And this is really where we've been focused. We've been focused on delivering these transformative experiences, especially in our newest tech-driven beauty innovations. I'd like to show you a few innovations that we've launched that are really changing the experience of how you care for your skin.
Pop-up pimple? Light is on it. Neutrogena Light Therapy Acne Spot Treatment with bacteria-killing blue light and inflammation-calming red light. And for full-on breakouts, Light Therapy Acne Mask. Neutrogena.
Thank you. So Neutrogena has had a strong relationship with dermatologists for more than 6 decades. And the practices and the treatments they do in their office has inspired innovations for us in the products we bring to the market. Neutrogena was the first company to bring effective, stable retinol to the market for the consumer to use at home. And this is a dermatologist's second favorite anti-ager, and once only available by prescription. Actually, their favorite anti-ager is sunscreen because it prevents damage from ever happening in the first place. And Neutrogena also was the first to bring to market a photostable, broad-spectrum sunscreen with our innovation, Helioplex. Thank you. Our most recent derm-inspired innovation is light therapy. We've democratized light therapy and brought it to the home. So 20 years ago, if you wanted a light therapy treatment, you had to make an appointment with your dermatologist. The device itself cost about 5 figures. You'd get in your car, you'd drive to the office, you would sit there for 20 or 30 minutes at about a cost of $100, and you'd have to repeat that process every time you wanted to treat your skin. Well, in 2016, Neutrogena launched the Light Therapy Acne Mask. This is an at-home device at a cost of $39. You use it in the comfort of your home for 10 minutes a day at a cost of about 70 cents a treatment. Next one.
Why do I wear this mask? To get rid of my acne. For only 10 minutes a day, blue light kills acne-causing bacteria, while red light reduces inflammation. It's the same technology my derm uses. I wear this mask because I refuse to wear a mask.
And we've extended this amazing light therapy platform. So the acne mask is available in 9 countries, and we've launched other products to meet other needs. So we've launched the Light Therapy Acne Pen. Less than $20, you can provide light therapy spot treatment for acne. We've also launched a light therapy mask in Asia, and it gives you smoother, more radiant skin. Next one. So if you go on Amazon, you're going to find dozens of light therapy products. We were not the first to the market. But what's different about the Neutrogena Light Therapy Mask is first, it's easy to use. It's a pleasure to use. But also, it's delivering that dermatologist red and blue light full face with clinically proven results. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about that. So simple to use, 10 minutes a day, delivering antibacterial blue light, anti-inflammatory red light, full face. You can even multitask. There's an eye slot. My teens love to check Instagram, watch a movie while they're treating their skin. We did a 12-week clinical study, and we really did see amazing results. Nearly 80% of our subjects had fewer breakouts in a week. 3 out of 4 of the users reported clearer, smoother, better-looking skin in 2 weeks. And after 12 weeks of only 10 minutes a day use, 98% of the users had fewer breakouts and 94% had smoother skin. This is all at a very approachable price point in the comfort of your home. So we're not content to stay there. This summer, Neutrogena is going to be offering another professional-grade at-home tool. This tool will allow you to analyze your skin and be delivered a customized skincare regimen. Show you a little bit about it. So the Neutrogena Skin Scanner is a beauty tool that simply fits over your phone. With highly accurate sensors, it can measure your skin and give you feedback immediately on your pores, your lines and wrinkles, and your skin moisture. The skin scanner creates a laboratory-grade condition every single time the images and the measurements are taken. And what that means is you get very accurate feedback, but it's also reproducible, so you can compare your data day to day. The data from the tool is communicated to the Neutrogena 360 app. That app combines your data with a wealth of scientific information that we have to give you a numerical score on pores, lines and wrinkles, moisture, as well as an overall skin health score. You can see your images. You can even see the algorithm overlaying your specific images. After looking at your score, you'll receive a personalized skincare regimen, a regimen that's addressing the skin needs that you as an individual have. What's amazing about this innovation is it's not only delivering you Neutrogena product recommendations, but our full confidence that those products will work for you. The skin scanner provides the consumer with an unprecedented level of accountability. Skincare products have always offered hope in a jar, but this gives you firm data to know exactly what your skin needs and that personalized regimen that's going to work for you. So all of the products that you've seen here today, they're backed by science, they have clinically proven results, but most importantly, they're fulfilling needs based on real human insights and consumer feedback. That has always been our purpose, and it will continue to be our purpose as we pursue additional innovation for years to come. Thank you.